fellow Star Wars nerds, and welcome to Unlimited Content, the podcast where two brothers talk about all of Star Wars TV and film in chronological order on the internet as an excuse to hang out more. We are your hosts, Sam and Jack, and this week we are talking about The Clone Wars, Season 2, Episodes 18 and 19, The Zillo Beast and The Zillo Beast Strikes Back. Dun dun dun! Jack Ford, how are you?
I'm good. I like the way you say two brothers.
Two brothers.
As if it's like, I like the way you say it. It's as if there's like, it's surprise each time. Like, how many brothers is it going to be this time? And you're like, this time it's two.
Well, it has been more than two brothers historically. It's not unprecedented for it to not be two brothers.
True. If you average out the number of brothers on all the episodes, it is slightly more than two.
Yeah, ever so slightly. But but it is technically more than two.
Yeah, it's like 2.07 or something.
We could run the numbers on this, but I'm not going to.
Max, you should come back. You should
Max,
join us.
Where are
Max,
you?
Who I'm sure you're listening to this podcast.
Yep,
because you're our biggest fan. I know it.
He is. That he is.
I'm doing good, Sam. How are you doing these days?
I am doing well these days. Yeah, it is good. I'm tired, but it's good. My brain is fried.
Yeah. It's a busy time for Sam Ford.
It is a busy time for me. Yep, with work, and I just went camping. But we can't talk about this right now, Jack. There are these bills. They keep stacking up.
Oh God, you're right. We're gonna go bankrupt while we're speaking.
Whilst speaking, unless we do something about these bills. Jack, how are we going to pay these unlimited bills?
Well, we're gonna pay our bills with our unlimited sponsor, which this week's episode of Unlimited Content is brought to you by Prime Numbers. Because they're fun. I feel like every time I hear a number, I'm like, my like, I don't know, like when we started doing this, but I feel like at home there was a point at which we started like, pointing out when a number was a prime number, like just whenever we're just talking.
Yeah.
And so now like I because of Dad. Thanks, Dad.
Yep.
Like, so now I feel like every time like a number comes up in conversation or something, my brain like automatically thinks, is that a prime number or not? And I'm like, and if it is, I'm like, oh, that's a prime number. Cool.
Hey,
fun.
Jack, what is your favorite number and is it prime? Do you have a favorite number?
I was thinking about this the other day, actually. I think my favorite number is 64, which is definitely not prime. Because the reason it's my favorite number is because it's got so many factors, I guess. It's like it's a perfect cube because it's 4 cubed.
It is.
It's also like 2 times 2 times 2 something. I don't remember how many, but it's like if you keep multiplying by 2, you get 64.
Yeah, you do. Yeah.
And it's also a perfect square. It's 8 times 8, and it's just, I don't know, it's just a good... It's 2 to the 5th. It's 2 to the 5th, gotcha.
Yeah.
Yeah, I don't know. It's all the different ways you can get to 64. It's fun.
That's good.
Yeah. What about you, Sam? Do you have a favorite number, and is it prime?
It is. 17.
What's your number?
17 is my favorite number.
Oh, why 17?
Probably, I don't know. I've always liked the number, and then there is a character in Dragon Ball Z called Android 17, and he was the cool one. So,
gotcha.
Yeah.
Cool. 17 is a good number.
It's a good number.
It's good.
It's nice.
As featured in the Zac Efron film 17 again.
Ah, yes.
The most prominent appearance of the number 17 in popular culture.
For sure.
It's that Zac Efron movie.
Yeah.
Anyway,
thanks, Prime
Sam,
Numbers, for sponsoring this episode of Unlimited Content.
Thank you, Prime Numbers, for sponsoring this episode. I'm sure that whatever amount of money you gave us was a prime number. If not, then what the heck are you doing?
Probably $17 is my guess.
I'd take $17.
I would take $17. Yeah, but we can't really split it evenly because it's a prime number.
Oh God! Well, you can do half $1, Sam.
No, I want it normal. I want integers.
You want no remainder.
Integers. Yeah. That's what I want.
Integers only.
Yeah. This episode of Unlimited Content also sponsored by integers and math.
Yes, thank you, integers and math, our secondary and tertiary sponsors for the episode.
Ooh, tertiary. Could use the word tertiary. It's not often
this was also sponsored by the word tertiary.
Unlimited sponsors.
Oh, so many sponsors today. We're rolling it. We're rolling on all these credits.
It makes sense that our number-themed sponsor episode there's lots of sponsors because there's numerous, if you will, sponsors.
Indeed. Yes. I believe we listed 5 sponsors, which is a prime number.
Oh man, that we did.
Yeah.
Jack, what are you up to?
I
got you do it.
Yeah, no. I'll go. You're the speaker guy this time, so you can tell me what to do.
Dude, I didn't realize I had that power.
What?
I didn't realize I had that power. This whole time I could have been wielding this power, but
unlimited powers.
Okay, go ahead. Sorry.
Well, I think that the first thing to talk about in terms of what I've been up to these past couple weeks. It's been a couple weeks since we've last recorded.
2.
And probably the most exciting thing to happen relative to this show in the past couple weeks is so you remember how we had that thing a while back where we were joking about having merchandise, and then the last episode we were like, maybe we should actually have merchandise. Well, folks, we have merchandise now.
Yes, that we have. It looks so good. I can't. Has your stuff showed up yet?
No, I got an email like a few days ago saying like, we're sorry, it's taking a bit longer than usual because all of our printing presses are like in use right now. They're bogged down. But like,
I got one of those emails too.
I think I did get like a shipment email though, like saying your item's been shipped. I haven't looked at like when it's gonna arrive then.
My stuff's supposed to be here on Wednesday.
Rad. Yeah. So we have a merchandise store. It's a non-profit store, so everything is being sold at cost. So if you decide you want to get something, don't get it because you want to like support us financially, because you won't be. do it because you want some fun merchandise from this show that nobody's heard of, so you can have like a cool, extremely niche t-shirt for this podcast with 12 listeners, and you can wear it around. People like, what's that? And you'll be like, you wouldn't have heard of it. It's pretty niche. It's pretty cool.
Yep.
You know. But yeah, if you want, you can go to unlimitedcontent.myspreadshop.com. And that link will be in the description of the episode as well. But it is, we've got a bunch of different designs up there that are all like kind of, I guess, memes from our show, I guess.
That's really what it is, yeah.
Yeah, which I mean,
I love it.
But like, speaking of which, this is episode 25 that we're recording. We're 25 episodes in. That's a bunch of episodes, and
that's
so I feel like indeed,
it's
not
5
a prime
to the
number.
2, not 2 to the 5, 5 to the 2.
Whoa,
Ooh.
That's crazy.
I know.
Yeah, it's exciting that we're at episode 25 already. Like every time I look at like the episode number, I'm like, how have we've done this many episodes already? So cool.
Yeah, we've been doing this for more than 6 months, which is wild.
And the fact that like I feel like 25 episodes is a good point at which to be like, hey, we've got merch now, and we have memes for like in jokes and stuff. So like, I guess I want to run
a Discord
through
server too. So that's something.
Yes, we do have a Discord server. We basically just use it for, it's how we record the podcast and what we invite our guests into so that they can join us for our podcast.
Yeah.
And we also have a meme channel because of course we do.
Yeah.
But yeah, I wanted to walk through just quickly like what the designs are, because I think it's fun to talk about.
Yeah, man.
So I'm just on the website looking at the designs, and there currently are 7 designs, or 6, one of which it has like 2 variants. So Sam, do you have a favorite one? Do you have a favorite design that we have so far?
I like the opening crawl one. Is probably my favorite design.
Yeah, it's good. It's good.
Yeah.
So that design is it's called the Spiel, and it is just like, it looks like the opening crawl from Star Wars, but it is our opening thing that we say at the beginning of the podcast. The hello there, fellow Star Wars nerds, etc. And it's I worked real hard on making that one look like authentic and correct to how the original crawl looks, and I think it turned out well. And I really like that one.
Yeah, I bought a hoodie with that on it.
Excellent. Yeah, I ordered a t-shirt and a bunch of stickers. And we will see what. It's interesting that like we've put up this store, but like haven't actually gotten any like tests, like prints of the products or anything. So it's like
it could be garbage.
We're hoping that we're hoping that they're good quality. But so yeah, there's that one. I think my favorite one, just because it was the first one that I made, and I think it turned out really well, is the An Impenetrable Defense shirt.
That's good. That's good.
And it just looks like the kind of like classic, like a Star Wars story or like the Empire Strikes Back kind of logo. But it's the Star Wars font. It's got like a square around it. And it says An Impenetrable Defense. And then in Arabesh, it says unlimited content on there. And then there's like a starfield behind it, and it's nice. I like the way it turned out, and that was a lot of fun to make. And I was like, that was the first one where I was like, this could be fun. It would be cool if we had like t-shirts or something. And I was like, I don't know. I feel like that's kind of our first like meme, I guess, of the podcast.
It really is the first like
saying an impenetrable defense.
It's the first like ongoing joke. Of the podcast.
Yes, it was great. We've got that one. Then we also have one that says, it just says in chronological order, but in the a long time ago in a galaxy far, far away like look. And so that one's fun. We have one that just says all of the Jedi need therapy on it, which is great. I don't remember if we said this on the podcast or if this was just between you and me, Sam, but like at one point you said like we should both get that on a t-shirt and then wear that t-shirt to therapy, both of us. I'm like, yeah, I'll do that. I do that.
I have not bought that shirt yet. Did you buy that shirt?
Not yet, no. Okay, but cool. I did. That's one of the ones that I wanted to buy one shirt first to like, you know, just to know like, does it fit me well? Because you never know with t-shirts in general, but also like because I'm a larger person, like when you get up to the larger kind of extended sizes, there's a lot of variation from like brand to brand for like, you know, how is it going to fit and everything. So I bought one shirt and we'll see how that goes. And if it fits well, then I'll buy a bunch of other ones probably. But yeah, so but I did buy the All the Jedi Need Therapy in sticker form, and I bought 2 of them so that I can give one of them to my therapist.
Yes. Oh, I should do that.
My therapist and I have like spoken a bit about like, she knows I'm into Star Wars and she knows about this podcast and like
my therapist as well. Hi Josh, if you're listening.
I don't think my therapist listens regularly. I think she listened to like the first episode and was like, that's cool, good for you. And then like we've been taught we'll talk about like the latest episode of Ahsoka. Yeah, like each should be like, so what do you think of this past week's Ahsoka, or you know, at the end of our appointment or something. And there was not in my most a couple appointments ago. It was like the first appointment that I had after the end of Ahsoka. There were like maybe 15 minutes of our appointment that I just spent explaining what the Mortis gods are to my therapist.
Oh my gosh.
She was like, okay, tell me what that's about. What's the deal with the thing at the end? And I was like, okay, I mean, I'm going to try and keep it brief because I know I could spend our entire appointment talking about this. So I anyway, we got into a conversation about the Mortis gods. So that was something.
That's incredible. Never did I think that I would know somebody who talked about the Mortis gods in therapy. Like, what the heck?
I mean, if it's going to be anybody,
I mean, yes, it would be you.
Yeah.
Yeah, second most likely is me. Third, Jason.
Yeah. But yeah, we have that one, and then we have a design that's just an unlimited content logo. It's not the one that's on the podcast cover. It's an alternate one that looks just like, you know, it's like a classic sort of Star Wars font looking thing.
And I really wanted to use that one as the primary logo because I think it looks better than the one I just made in the Canva font. Oh, there's a cat in here. Oh, oops. I was like, what am I hearing behind me? It's a cat.
I saw the cat crawling around in the background.
Yeah, I did not know that. I knew I got one cat out of this room. I thought I didn't realize the other one was in here. What was I saying? Oh, yeah, I tried to make that logo work with the current design I have of the podcast cover without having to change too much. I kind of having it just going to be a variation of the same thing every single time, but I couldn't make it work. And so I was like, well,
yeah, it's a different
if I redesigned to it, entirely the podcast cover art, then maybe. But
yeah, we'll figure it out eventually. I do like this logo. I mean, I like your logo too. I think the cover art looks really good. But yeah, we should have a. Yours is fun. I like it.
Don't try and flatter yourself. It's literally just a random Canva font that's supposed to look like some Asian letters. Is what it's supposed to look like.
80% of my graphic design work is just find a cool font and then work around that. So
that's most of graphic design, right? Graphic designers don't hurt me. I think that's most of it, though. Yeah, probably.
Yeah, I mean, I don't know. Between the
all
two
I know
of
about
us
graphic design is making t-shirts on Canva. That's all I know.
Excellent. Yeah. So yeah, we have an unlimited content logo, which, by the way, there was an earlier version of this variant of the logo that it was a little bit simpler. It was just I really just typed out the words unlimited content in the Star Wars font, and then arranged it in the way that it's arranged right now. But then I went back later and adjusted it a bit to make it look a little nicer. So like I connected some of the letters together like they would be in like, you know, the Star Wars logo.
Yeah.
And then also something I didn't realize until I was like kind of looking into this. There in the Clone Wars logo, the N is different. It's like it's not just like a regular. There's like a curve to the top of it. So like the middle section is kind of curved, and so I like changed the N manually in this version of the logo, and I was proud of that. I thought it turned out nice. Anyway,
see, is this attention to detail? That's why our sponsor us.
Yeah, that's why we get paid the big bucks.
Oh
yeah. But yeah, so those are the designs we had, and then I sent that out to friends and family, and it was like, hey, we have a store now if you guys want to buy shirts. I think Gracie said she bought a hoodie of just like the Unlimited Content logo. So
thanks, Grace.
That's cool.
Yep. And I'll admit, Grace, you do listen to the podcast. I'll admit.
You finally 25 episodes in, you've conceded.
Yeah, it's fine. Not all bits last forever, Jack. Not all bits last forever.
Unfortunately.
I'll find a new bit.
But yeah. And then we'll have unlimited bits. I'm sure.
that we will.
Live by the bit, die by the bit. Yeah, so I sent that out to the family, and they all seemed to like them, and I think it was Mom's idea to be like, you should make a t-shirt design of the outsourcing to bugs like monologue. And I was like, okay, I can do that.
Yeah.
And so I whipped that up pretty quickly of like, it's just from our Attack of the Clones episode when I go through the like, you know, the chain of assassination. Yeah. Explaining to you and Max like the chain of like, you know, Dooku hires Jango Fett and Jango Fett hires the Changeling and etc.
Zam Wessel. Come on. Put some respect on her name.
I'm sorry.
All the respect that she deserves. Maybe. I don't know.
So I basically just typed that out in a big like block of text and then like made it look nice and added a gradient to it. And there's two versions. There's a blue one and a red one, and I called them the dark side variant and the light side variant because I thought that was fun. But yeah, you can get all these designs in t-shirts. You can also get them in like hoodies or sweatshirts, and some of them you can get on mugs and stickers. And yeah, if you're interested, you can go to our merch store and buy our silly merchandise for our silly show.
Yep.
This has been a fun like creative project for me. It's been nice. It's been cool to just kind of like this fun creative outlet. Like I mean, this whole podcast has been like a nice sort of chill creative outlet. Like in addition to getting to like watch Star Wars and get to hang out with my brother and have an excuse to talk to other people too, like our occasional guests. It's also just been fun to have like a sort of an outlet for casual like doing some editing for fun and doing some graphic design for fun, and just like because I feel like I personally tend to put a lot of pressure on myself when it comes to creative work, because like that's kind of what I want to do career wise is, you know, do creative things, and so like I have a hard time sometimes separating the kind of self-imposed pressure of like everything I make has to be good so that I can like eventually use it to get a job or something, versus like just doing creative things for the sake of having fun and enjoying it. So this has been a nice outlet for that. Yeah. So, but yeah, go buy all our merchandise and we'll be rich in our hearts, but not with money, because again, it's not for profit store.
But credits will do fine.
Credits will do fine. Well, I mean, I don't know if Spreadshirt accepts credits.
I
do.
You
look at that.
I accept.
Oh, you do. Okay.
Yep.
So if I give you credits, will you then use those? Will you buy a T-shirt for me?
Well, the store doesn't accept credits, so credits will be fine for them. Credits aren't exactly fungible with dollars, so it doesn't really work.
Gotcha.
Yeah.
Well, yeah. So that's like the big exciting show related news, I guess.
Yep.
Yeah. So merchandise and whatnot. I've also been playing a lot of different video games over the last couple of weeks, so I want to talk about some of those. Yeah. So Jack's video game soapbox continues. So the first game I want to talk about is I haven't finished this game yet, but I just want to talk about it because I think it's cool. It's called Planet of Lana, and it is what is sometimes called a cinematic platformer. So basically, it's like a side-scrolling like 2D like platforming puzzle game, but it's more focused on like story and like beautiful visuals and kind of like establishing an atmosphere and stuff. If anybody listening has ever played the game Limbo, that's definitely an example of what would probably be considered like a cinematic platformer. That or like Inside, which came out a few years ago, which is amazing. And then let's see, I think Oddworld, Abe's Odyssey, and Another World or Out of This World, depending on what region of the world you're in. Anyway, point is, Planet of Lana it's a very beautiful, like visually pretty game. It takes place like on an Earth-like planet with a sort of like fairly primitive civilization of people, and then their planet gets invaded by like robots from space or something, and you have to like kind of make your way, like, and all the villagers get kidnapped except for the character that you're playing is named Lana.
Oh.
And so you like
it's her planet
go
now,
and
so she's the only one left.
It's just hers. It's just hers. And she's just like a little kid, and you have to like make your way through the world and like try and like find all of the other villagers who've been like captured by the robots. And it's very like there's like a lot of, it's very like tense and stealthy rather than like, you know, something like a Mario or a Sonic game where it's like, you know, very like fast paced and actiony. This is much kind of more slower paced and a lot sort of, it's more tense because it's like, you know, if you get spotted by one of these robots, they will kill you immediately. It's like a kind of a one-hit kill type thing. So there's a lot of stealth sections and a lot of puzzles and a lot of kind of both of those kind of things combined. Yeah, but that's pretty typical for this genre. This is I think from like the lead game designer or the art director, creative director or something of Inside, which is a game that came out a few years ago that was very, very good. And what makes this game particularly like notable or like what I think makes it cool is just the art style of it. It is one of the most visually gorgeous games I've played in a long time. It's like, it looks very kind of almost like watercolor painterly. It's super vibrant and beautiful, and and there's also just this really cool like contrast between the very kind of organic natural world and the like these very like, you know, mechanical like black monochromatic robots that come and invade. It's this really cool contrast there.
Oh, this is really pretty.
Oh yeah, you're looking it up.
Yeah.
It's some people have compared it to like Studio Ghibli vibes.
I could see that. You know? Yeah.
Mm-hmm. At least in terms of like the color scheme.
Yeah, it's like Studio Ghibli but sci-fi.
Yeah. Yeah, basically.
Yeah. Like the big like syndrome robot looking things on one of the things.
Yes, yeah. As soon as I saw those robots, I was like, these look like the Incredibles robots.
Yeah.
That's exactly what they look like. Yeah. But yeah, so I'm not super far into that game, but like I just wanted to talk about it because I think it's super cool and pretty, and also the soundtrack is good and the sound design is good. It's just like so far of what I've played, it's not like a super amazing game like gameplay wise. It's pretty basic. It's kind of like, you know, I've played games like this before. It doesn't really feel like it's done much. Like, it's not bad or anything. It's just, you know, not extraordinary in that way. Yeah. But the ways in which it is extraordinary, it's just kind of how it's like a feast for the senses. It's just a really
it looks
pretty,
gorgeous. Yeah,
amazing game. Yeah. Yeah. So Planet of Lana, if that sounds interesting to you, I would definitely recommend it. Then a game that I started playing recently and did actually finish is a puzzle game called Viewfinder. Sam, at some point I want you to like look up this game and watch the trailer or something.
I'm looking at pictures of it right now. Why is there a watermelon?
Yeah.
Are you a watermelon?
You are not a watermelon.
Okay.
There are watermelon in the in the game, but no. Okay, so Viewfinder is a first-person puzzle game, much in the kind of in the vein of something like Portal, where it's kind of mind-bendy and like, you know, Portal kind of like started this genre of like first-person puzzle games that are sort of like meant to kind of turn things on their head and make you think outside the box. And I think there are very few games that like kind of reach the same heights as Portal does in terms of having mechanics that are like really interesting and engaging, and like have a game that's just like really well paced and kind of reaches all the same sorts of highs that Portal did.
Yeah.
There's a lot of kind of middling games in this genre that it's like they're clearly kind of trying to like ape what Portal did, but not really reaching that same zenith.
Yeah.
This game is not one of those. This game is very, very good. It's really good. So the premise of Viewfinder, it's hard to describe like with words. So I would definitely recommend like watching a trailer or something if it sounds interesting to you. But it's basically, the idea is that you have a camera and you can take pictures of things and then take the picture and like put it up in front of you, and then that picture becomes part of the world, and you use that to solve puzzles. It's like it's all very like perspective based, and
just like a Roadrunner Wile E. Coyote situation, but turned into a video game.
Yeah, actually, that's a really good. That's a great way of putting it. Actually, it's like the paintings that Roadrunner Wile E. Coyote use. It's like but gamified. Yeah,
I like that.
Yeah, but it's super cool. It's like got this interesting sort of sci-fi plot to it, and but it's just it's great because it's a game that like. I think what makes Portal a really strong game, for example, is I mean, many things. It's one of my favorite games ever. But
it's fantastic.
In particular, when it comes to like puzzle design and everything, is the fact that it's paced so well. It like it introduces like one little concept at a time, and then like it kind of teaches you how to do it, and then makes you use it, and then once you've like figured that out, it adds on the next thing. It's never like the same puzzle repeatedly. It's always like the next puzzle is an expansion on the things that you already know, and like introduces new concepts, and so it's like it never gets boring. It's always you're always learning something.
Yeah,
like and Viewfinder works very much in the same way.
Kind of thing. Like the teacher will teach you like a bunch of things. Like just when you feel like you have a handle on the thing that you're learning, it's like okay, next thing, let's go. I'm like crap. I thought I was done. But it's better because it's a video game, not like schoolwork.
Yeah, exactly. And I think it's really easy for games to kind of fall into this trap where it's like, let's put in our game. We want our game to be longer, or we don't have enough kind of concepts to sort of fill out a whole game, so we'll just like kind of do the same like idea over and over again that are like, but like in slightly different variants. So you have like a bunch of levels that like they might still be good puzzles, but it's like if it doesn't introduce a new idea or something, that it's not really interesting. And Viewfinder does a good job of avoiding that problem. And there was just so many moments during this game where like I feel like every like 20 minutes or something I would discover some new way that they were like using this mechanic, and or like just a new idea, and it would just like every 20 minutes I'd be like, oh my gosh, that's so cool. That's such a cool idea.
Yeah.
And it's a really fun experience, and I definitely highly recommend it if that sounds interesting to you.
It does.
It's only like I think I finished it in like 5 hours.
Oh, okay.
So it's a pretty short game, but it's very good. Viewfinder, it's excellent. It's made by a small like indie team, and they did an amazing job, and I definitely highly recommend it.
Nice.
That's Viewfinder. And then I have 2 more games to talk about, which came out on the same day this past week. So on October 20th, we got 2 of my most anticipated games of the year. Both came out. We got Super Mario Bros. Wonder.
Yeah.
Super Mario Bros. Wonder and Spider-Man 2. And I've been pretty much spending the whole weekend almost just doing that, just playing those games.
Well done, as you should.
It's excellent. So first, I guess Super Mario Bros. Wonder is the latest like 2D side-scrolling, like traditional Mario game. The last one that we got that was like a full new 2D Mario game was back in 2012, I think. There was Super Mario Bros. New Super Mario Bros. U. And then we got there was like an expansion for that came out, and then like it got ported to the Switch, and we also got like Super Mario Maker 1 and 2 in that time. But like in terms of like a full new Mario game, like a 2D Mario game, that is, this is the first one since 2012. I think what makes this even more like special and extraordinary is the fact that The last time that Mario kind of had a refresh in terms of gameplay and visual style was like 2006, 2007 with New Super Mario Bros. On the DS. And like pretty much every side-scrolling Mario game that's come out since then has had that exact same art style and has kind of built on, added like new power-ups or like some new mechanics and things, but it's basically been the exact same game, but like iterated on for the last like 15 years.
Yeah, which like it's a tried and true formula, so it works. But
absolutely, yeah.
But you kind of want it. But you want something.
And they had no reason to. Yeah, exactly. They had no reason to like change what they were doing, basically, because like you said, it's quality, it's still good, and it also made them just buttloads of money. Like those games sell extremely well. But then I think they realized at a certain point that like after releasing Super Mario Maker and Super Mario Maker 2, it was like they kind of realized we've like reached the limit with this particular version of Mario. Like we have to do something new.
Yeah.
And I'm very glad that they did. Because Super Mario Bros. Wonder is, in fact, wonderful. It is very good.
I was hoping you'd say that.
I had to go for it. I had to go for the obvious pun.
Truly.
Yeah. So, Super Mario Bros. Wonder. It's got like it's largely speaking, it's still the same kind of 2D Mario that you're used to.
Yeah.
But with just a lot of new, like with a fresh coat of paint on it. The art style is kind of new and different, and like it looks really slick and nice, and the characters kind of all received a slight redesign, like the art not like a redesign in terms of like the characters design, but more in terms of the art style of it. They look almost a little more like 2D characters in 3D space, or like they look almost kind of like claymation-y to me.
Okay.
But yeah, I really like the style, and it looks a little more like classic. Like the way Mario looks now looks a lot like kind of early promo art for what it reminds me of is the very first issue of Nintendo Power has this like clay figure version of Mario on it, and that's what it looks like to me. That's what it reminds me of. But yeah, it's a really charming art style, and it's a visually gorgeous game. It's extremely polished, as is to be expected with Nintendo games.
Yeah.
They have like just a ton of different playable characters.
Interesting.
They all play exactly the same. Which so like in like Super Mario Bros. 2, you had like Mario, Luigi, Toad, and Peach, and they all like played slightly differently.
Yeah.
Like Luigi can jump a little bit higher, and Toad is faster but can't jump very high, and then Peach has her like she can like float through the air for a bit thing.
Yeah.
And this one they decided to just make all the characters play exactly the same, but there's a lot of characters, so it's just kind of it's a fun like you can play as whoever you want kind of thing. So you can play as Mario, Luigi, Peach, Daisy, she's never been playable in a Mario platform before, so that's exciting.
Really? I don't know if I realized Daisy hasn't been.
Yeah. Daisy's pretty much only been in like the Mario sports games.
Yeah, Mario.
Basically,
Mario
as a playable
Sports,
character.
Mario Kart.
Yeah. Exactly. Yeah. And then she did get introduced to Smash Bros. in the most recent version of Smash, but that's
How did she not get introduced that until just the new one?
I guess it's just like she was so similar to Peach that they were like,
Well, yeah, but so is Luigi to Mario, and Waluigi to Wario. So like,
well, Waluigi isn't in it either. So,
justice for Waluigi. Come on,
dude. Listen, there's like for years now, people have been like, why can't you play as Waluigi in Smash Bros? He's like the most requested character that didn't get into Smash.
You can't.
People are mad. Like,
what the heck?
There's a passionate community of people who are very pro Waluigi.
Yeah, it's one of those things that like I would never have thought about, and then like, but now that I do think about it, I'm mad. Like it never would have occurred to me to be something to be mad about, but now that I think about it, I'm like, that's dumb.
No.
Of all the dumb things to be mad about, it's one of the better ones.
Yeah, if you're gonna be mad about something dumb, be mad about Waluigi. I feel like that's reasonable. Yeah.
Yeah.
But yeah, so you can play as Mario, Luigi, Peach, Daisy, Blue Toad, Yellow Toad, Toadette, and then you can also play as one of 4 different Yoshis, and you can also play as Nabbit, who is like a character who was introduced a couple games ago in one of the new Super Mario Bros. Games. But like Yoshi and Nabbit are like the kind of the easy mode characters. So like they like don't get hurt from things basically, and they're like they're like if you want to play on easy mode, or if you're like playing co-op and you're like they're kind of like the little brother character,
Got it.
Sort of the Tails of the game, So anyway, lots of characters, which is great. The kind of the big like gimmick with this game is the Wonder Flower, which is like basically in I think every level, or most levels at least, you can find a Wonder Flower in the level, and if you grab it, it does something wild and crazy to the level. So like, for example, there might be like there's one level, and it's like something different every time, and that's kind of what's like cool and exciting about it. Is just it's a way for them to like inject unexpected events and variety and stuff into the levels.
So it's not like the same thing for like on, let's say, like level 1-1 for like, it's not the same time every time you get the Wonder Flower. It's not the same thing. It's a different thing. It kind of rotates through different things every time you hit on that same level.
It's different. No, it's different per level.
Okay, but it's the same every level. But that level is always the same.
Yes, so yeah, the Wonder Flower in like 1-1 would be, it always does the same thing.
Got it.
But it's like that thing only happens at level 1-1, and then if you go to the next level and get the Wonder Flower, something else happens. So it's
like a green space in Mario Party. If you land on green space, something happens. Like it's
yeah, kind of yeah. It's a good way of putting it. But yeah, so there's like just as some examples, there's one where like if you get the Wonder Flower, like a stampede of bulls runs through the level, and you have to like ride the bulls to the end, and then the bulls like knock down the flagpole at the end, and like it's there's another one that's super super cool where like it changes, like basically instead of it being a side scroller, it changes it to where like you are now walking on the walls of the level. So your perspective doesn't change, but your character is now like standing sideways, so it looks like a top down like kind of Zelda situation. It's like, so like the perspective changes. There's ones where like your character transforms into something else. There's ones where like there was one where like you get caught up in a storm and you're like floating through the air and you have to like dodge lightning bolts and stuff. It's just super cool, all the different like creative ways that they're able to kind of shake things up with this. It's been really cool. So yeah, just super fun. A really like charming, polished game. Like the sound effects are all really great in this game. For example, like most of the sound effects, like of you jumping or like grabbing an item or doing a ground pound or something, are all like musical instruments making noises. Ooh. So like whenever Mario jumps, instead of like the the same jump noise that it's been for 15 years or whatever, it's like kind of like a pizzicato pluck of a violin or something. It's like it's nice.
Interesting.
And then like when you do a ground pound, it does like a drum roll as you're falling through the air, and then a cymbal hit when you hit the ground. And it's just, it's very charming and nice.
Oh, I like that.
Yeah, it's cool. But yeah, excellent. Just such a great game. So yeah, I mean, if you it's not like if you've never liked a Mario game before and I'm like, this game's great, you're not going to be like it's still Mario. But like, if this sounds interesting to you, I'm sure you already know about it and have gotten it. But like, if not, this game's great. Yeah, and I highly recommend it.
I mean, I don't know about you. I get all of my video game news from this segment of the podcast. Anything new in video games is like the 20 minutes that Jack talks to me about video games while recording a podcast about Star Wars. That's like when I learn about like the news of the video game world, and I love it. It's great.
Excellent. I'll take it.
Yeah,
it's my personal soapbox where I get to talk about video games, and I'm the only person who knows anything about video games currently here. So
it's true.
So there's no one here to like to debate with me about like, or like to disagree with me. I'm just like, what I say. This is my reality.
Yeah. And I'm just living in it, apparently. So here we are.
for this one brief segment, well, quote unquote brief. It's longer this time.
It is. It's been a minute, and there's a lot of new stuff that you've been excited about for a long time that is now here.
Yes.
It's like when we spent half of our podcast. It's like how we spent over the summer, half of our podcast was just Tears of the Kingdom. So, I mean,
yes, exactly.
Not unprecedented.
Yeah, or Power Wash Simulator, which is I'm past that, but I'm sure we'll talk more about it when I like. I'm sure I'll get the SpongeBob DLC at some point.
Yes.
But right now, I have Super Mario Bros. Wonder to play, which again, amazing. And also Spider-Man 2. Oh, by the way, another brief interesting thing about Mario Wonder is that this is the first Mario game ever where Mario is not voiced by Charles Martinet.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, Charles Martinet retired from being Mario. He's doing great. He's just like, he's been doing this since Super Mario 64 in like 1996.
He's no longer with us, but
he's around. He's still jolly and wonderful.
He's retired.
Yeah, Charles Martinet has been doing the voice of Mario and also Luigi and Wario and Waluigi, I think, since 1996 with Super Mario 64. And he earlier this year announced that he was retired, and they said that it's going to be a new guy that's voicing Mario and Luigi in Mario Bros. Wonder. And I think they're doing a great job. Let me, real quick, not that anybody's going to know who this is, but I want to look up just to know what his name is. Yeah, his name is Kevin Afghani, or Afghani, I don't know. But yes, he's the new voice of Mario. He's a younger guy. He's younger than me. He's 26.
What?
So,
what are we doing with our lives, Jack? We're not.
I don't know, man.
The voice of franchise.
We're hosting this podcast. That's
game characters. Come on.
Yeah. But anyway, I think he sounds great, and I wish the best of luck to him. I'm sure. I mean, like, this guy, I would assume, is like set for life now, kind of, because he's, unless he gets canceled or something, I'm sure he's going to be Mario for like the next 30 years or something. So like, good on you.
Yeah, he's got at least like 3 consoles ahead of him, so he'll be fine.
Exactly. Yeah. But yeah, Charles Martinet, obviously great and a legend and wonderful, and we wish him well. But like, I think it's going to take some getting used to, but I think Mr. Afghani is doing a great job. Yeah, he sounds great.
At least it's not Chris Pratt. So
true. Yeah, it's there was plenty of jokes about like who's going to be the next voice of Mario, and everybody's like, it's going to be Chris Pratt. Duh. But yeah. Anyway, that's Mario. Last game. I've been talking for like a half an hour or something about video games, but
we're here.
Spider-Man 2. I've been very excited for this game. So in 2018, Insomniac Games came out with the first Marvel's Spider-Man, which was like a big open world Spider-Man game, AAA, big budget, very well done. Insomniac makes nothing but great games, basically. They've made these games, these Spider-Man games, but they also made the Ratchet and Clank series.
Nice.
Yeah, it is just it's a really good quality series. It's like, so I like, for some context, Spider-Man is my favorite superhero. I love him. And I've always loved Spider-Man.
Yeah. He's the most lovable superhero, without a doubt.
He's delightful. He's excellent, and I'm sure there will be, at some point in the future on an episode, I will go on a tangent about why I like Spider-Man and all the things I like about Spider-Man. But for now, I just want to say I love him. Yeah,
he's my favorite superpowered comic book character. For sure.
Yes, for me, it's like, it's Spider-Man and Batman are my 2 favorites.
Same. Batman's my favorite comic book character, period. Spider-Man's my favorite one with superpowers.
Correct. Yeah.
Yeah.
That's probably
because Batman's not a superhero. But anyway, continue.
Okay. Yeah, so and growing up, there was a game on the PS2 that I had that was it was called Spider-Man 2, and it was based on the Tobey Maguire movie. Yep. I loved that game.
Probably the greatest Spider-Man movie of all time.
Honestly, like Alfred Molina. Amazing.
It does not get better.
It's such a great movie, such a great performance. But yeah, so they made a game out of it, and it was very good. Actually, movie tie-in games don't have a reputation for being great, but this one was very good, and for a long time, at least to me, it was like the best Spider-Man game. Yeah. Because it was like, in a lot of like Spider-Man games that came before that, like whenever you would like swing through the city, it wouldn't be like, the web wouldn't have to attach to anything. You would just kind of be like, you're hovering through the air basically, and you can kind of swing anywhere. But for this one, it was like, no, you have to like be like below the top of a building so that you can actually like, your web can have something to attach to. And so it felt more kind of real, and the swinging mechanics were just really fun and engaging and like kind of like deep, and it was really good. And it was, this big open world New York City, and for the time, I thought it looked really good. And I loved going to the top of the Empire State Building and jumping off.
I remember that.
And it's super fun.
Yeah, like the 3 times I played it, the 3 times you let me play it, I was like, yeah, I'm gonna do that. That's all I did. Just like, what's the highest thing I climb on? Jump off, and I would try and see, like, can I save myself? Like, how close can I get to the ground and still swing?
Yes. It's the best. Yeah. And then if you did hit the ground, like, there were no, like, when you like die of fall damage in that game, you don't like bounce off the ground or anything. You just like
splat. You
just like land, and then you're just like, but you like land on your legs, and then it kind of stumbles down and dies. It's like, oh, okay. Anyway, so anyway, in 2018 we got this latest Spider-Man game, which is like a standalone like new universe thing. It's not like based on anything in particular, or it's not based on any particular like version of Spider-Man. And they did a very good job of it. It's immediately became my new favorite Spider-Man game. It definitely felt like the modern successor to the game I grew up with. Super like just like big New York City, and it looks great and it's gorgeous, and the writing is really good and the performances are great. And the first game, one of the main kind of, I feel like the main arc of that game was like the relationship between Peter and Dr. Octavius, and so it was a really cool like to me like that, like this and the Spider-Man 2 like Alfred Molina Doc Ock are the best versions of Doc Ock to me. Like it's a different take on Dr. Octopus on Otto Octavius.
Yeah.
But it's like they play a lot more into the like the relationship between Peter and Otto, and kind of like it's like a slow tragedy. You kind of see him like slowly becoming a villain, as opposed to like the sort of more immediate like, oh, I'm evil now.
Yeah. Like because in Spider-Man 2 it was kind of like the movie, like it was kind of like the arms kind of just took over. It was like yeah, it's very much like just like the Doc Ock version of like the Green Goblin. Like, I have the gas and now I'm like, okay, now I'm evil now. Like, yeah. Godspeed, Spider-Man.
Godspeed, Spider-Man. Yeah. So I thought anyway, that game was very good. They did a really good job with it. And then they, a couple years later, they came out with Spider-Man Miles Morales, which is a, like, not a full sequel because it's like a shorter game. It's kind of a mid-quel kind of spin-off game.
Spider-Man 1.5.
Basically, yeah. But you play as Miles Morales, obviously, and it was very, very good. I actually liked Miles Morales, that game, better than the first one, because I felt like, I mean, it looks better because it was on the PS5, but also just more so because I thought that like because it was a shorter experience, the story felt more kind of focused. When you have like a gigantic game like the first Spider-Man, there's like, like 6 different supervillains in it, and like a bunch of different stories that are all happening at once, and just so much stuff to do, and it's really easy to kind of lose that kind of sense of urgency, and like the pacing can get really slow, or things can get bogged down just by like the massive amount of content there is. Whereas Miles Morales, I felt like, was just like long enough to tell a really good story and not get bogged down by like extra stuff. So anyway, yeah, that's probably my favorite Spider-Man game so far. And then finally, just a few days ago, they came out with Spider-Man 2, the actual like full-on sequel to the 2018 game. And this one you get to play as both Peter Parker and Miles Morales. You can switch between them at any time, which is cool. And I'm maybe like 15 hours in so far, something like that. But so far it's been very good, and I really, really enjoy it. It's predictably beautiful and fun. Like it's still like the same kind of all the same things of the previous games, but kind of like more polished and nicer and more improved. And plus you've got some new mechanics and like some exciting new characters. Harry Osborn.
Is Harry Osborn the villain in this one? I was about to ask.
Well, yeah. So
or have you gotten that far yet to know who the?
They're 2 main villains in this game. Which this is not a spoiler because they're in the trailers.
Yeah.
But the 2 main villains are Kraven the Hunter and Venom. So.
I did see something about Venom. That looks super cool. Venom looks nuts in this game.
I know. So I haven't met Venom yet specifically, but like basically the way that they are doing Venom in this version of the Spider-Man universe is Harry Osborn had this like disease that killed his mom, and they were trying to figure out how to like cure him of it. And Dr. Kurt Connors, aka the Lizard, like develops basically like a suit, or like organism thing that like basically like when like he's wearing it like keeps him alive basically. And wow. And that's like what the Venom symbiote is in this case. Okay. So
it's not from the Venom planet, but now it's like a, because it wasn't.
It's a sciencey thing.
Yeah, because it was like an alien before, right?
Yeah. So in the original comics, and also in like the Raimi movies, it was just like something that landed on Earth from like a meteorite. Yeah, it was like an alien basically. Yeah. And then I think in other versions, like in the Ultimate Comics, it is like it's a similar situation of like an experimental like medical treatment type thing, where it's like I think in the Ultimate Comics it was like a way of trying to like fight cancer or something. Anyway, so yeah, in this one like Harry has
what is it with like cancer like treatment things becoming like the big bad in like a big like science experiment gone wrong kind of thing? I don't know. It just kind of feels like it. Is it kind of a trope? Because that's like, this is at least the second thing I'm aware of that like that's like a cancer treatment has like become like this like big thing. Like in the Walking Dead universe, like the zombie outbreak comes from like a trying to make a cure for cancer, and like they just unleash zombies. Like yeah,
I don't know. I feel like maybe there's just something kind of weird about cancer where it's like it's life, but it's like life gone wrong. It's like growing in a way that it's not supposed to, and there's something kind of creepy and unsettling about it.
It is kind of poetic that way. Yeah, I never thought about it that way.
Yeah. But yeah. Anyway, so yeah, Kraven the Hunter is in it, and Venom is going to be in it. I just got to the point in the game where Peter gets like the black suit, like the symbiote suit. Ooh. So I'm like strong, angry, evil Peter now, or whatever, So like,
does he have like a montage scene with like
where he dances and has a weird haircut?
Yeah,
and
it makes funny faces.
Not yet.
Please.
Who knows? Maybe. Maybe
if not, if there are any modders out there who know how to do this already.
Oh, I'm sure.
Yeah, it'll happen.
I'm sure it's gonna happen at some point.
Yeah.
Yeah. Once they release it on PC, I'm sure that'll happen. But yeah, it's very good. It's super fun. One kind of cool new mechanic they added are the web wings, which are just like the web wings are like a pretty old, like they're from early on in the comics. Like I think
one of the first ones. I think like in the
like in some of the earliest version of Spider-Man, like there were he had like these kind of like webs under his like armpits area, that like when he stretches at his arm, they let him like glide around,
like a flying squirrel kind of thing.
Exactly. Yeah. And so that they added that as a mechanic in this latest game, and you can like glide around and stuff, in addition to swinging around, which is cool. And part of the reason why they added that is because they also added Queens and Brooklyn to the game. So like, it used to be that you could only be on like Manhattan, but then they added Brooklyn and Queens now, so that you can like go to different. It's a bigger area, but of course like Brooklyn and Queens are like not necessarily, there's not as many tall buildings there, and so there's not as much like opportunity for swinging around. Right. So they added this so that you can like still kind of get around more easily without having to necessarily like swing everywhere.
Yeah, so. But isn't Peter Parker from Brooklyn? Did he grow up in Brooklyn?
He's from Queens, I believe.
Queens, okay.
Yeah.
It was Steve Rogers was from Brooklyn.
Yeah, Steve Rogers is from Brooklyn. But yeah. Like in the previous game, we never spent any time there. We were just always on Manhattan.
Yeah.
Yeah. So super fun. I'm really enjoying it, and I'm sure I'll get back to you all with more tales of what's going on in the game. But like I won't spoil the story, because this is a very story driven game, definitely. But
yeah.
If you have a PS5, I definitely recommend it. It's super good. Super good. But yeah. Merchandise and various video games. That's what I've been up to. Thus ends the first half of our podcast.
Yeah. No, man.
Sam, what have you been up to?
Less than that, but I've been up to things. I've been busy. What have I been up to? So this past weekend, Friday night, me and Sarah and Marion took Marion on her first camping trip.
Ooh.
It was fun. Yeah, so we went to Clinton Lake State Park out in Lawrence, Kansas.
Cool.
It was perfect weather, like highs in the low 70s. It got down to like 58 overnight. Like it was
perfect
camping weather. Marion had her first s'more. It was great and adorable. She got very sticky. She did not...
It's the only way to do it.
It is the only way to do it. She did not sleep well at all. She was just very restless. And I think, because it's one of the first times, other than like, since she was like an infant, when we like went to our parents' house with her, that she slept in the same room as us. And it's her first time sleeping in a tent, in a sleeping bag, not in a bed. Like, it was just a lot of firsts. And it didn't go great. But she did fall asleep around like midnight, 1 a.m. somewhere in there. And we tried to put her to bed at like 9. Or 8:30, something like that. But yeah, so it was a rough 3 hours. And then she woke up in the middle of the night crying. And I'm like, oh, great. And it was, the campsite was like, every single site was booked. And at this like state park kind of campground things, like, you are 30 feet from the tent next to you. Like, it's like, it's like 10, 15 yards. It's not far. So like, waking up screaming and crying at 3 a.m, not great. So, but fun. Hey, it was a learning experience for everybody. She really liked it. She, as soon as we got in the car, she like said, are we still going camping? I was like, no, girlie, we're going home. We're going home. We're going to get you in a bath and take a nap. And then she crashed in the car, just like out. Like, we weren't even on, like, it's like a 5-minute drive to the highway from the state park. We weren't even on the highway yet, and she was asleep. Like, it was adorable, but also like, So it was fun. We had a good time.
She enjoyed it, other than the sleeping bit.
She played in the dirt the whole time. Just having a blast.
Excellent. Yeah. That's what it's about. Yeah,
sitting in the dirt, making a pile of leaves and rocks, and she called it making dinner. And then she would take a little bit of dirt and sprinkle on the top. It's like salt, and then she'd take another little pinch of dirt and go pepper. And
amazing.
Yeah, it was adorable. She was excellent. Filthy. It was gross. Yeah. So we learned to bring more changes of clothes for her, and we're gonna bring melatonin next time, like toddler melatonin.
Oh,
yeah, so that she like actually like doesn't have a choice. You're sleeping. Like, here's a gummy. Have fun. Good night.
Cool.
Yeah, because I mean, it's safe and fine, and like you need to sleep. Like, me and Sarah want to have like
I didn't know they
time.
made those.
They do.
I mean, it makes sense that they did.
Yeah, they do.
I never thought about it.
Probably for things like this, I would think. I don't know. We've never like given her medicine so that she falls asleep before. Like, that's not like a thing we do. Yeah. But like, if we're camping and this happens again, like, we're just gonna give you melatonin. You're gonna fall asleep. Like, here's a gummy. It's vitamin. No fun. Yeah. Yeah. So we'll do that. So I've been doing that, and then the other thing that's been taking most of my attention is it's when we're recording this, it is currently, we're going into the 9th inning of Game 6 of the American League Championship Series. Rangers, my favorite team of any sport ever, are playing the Houston Astros, my least favorite team of any sport ever. I hate the Astros so much. Baseball. I love baseball. Baseball's my favorite sport. Rangers are my favorite team. And we're looking really good, but the Astros are up in the series 3-2, but the Rangers are winning right now 4-2 in this game going into the last inning. So, and we just got out of the 8th inning. The bases were loaded, and we somehow didn't let anyone score. So it was great. It was good. Good fun. So I showed Jack before we started recording, but I have 3 monitors up right now. I have Jack on Discord and looking at him, and then on to the right is the script for the podcast, and to the left is Fox Sports 1 with the Rangers game. So that has been consuming most of my attention for outside of this podcast. That's what I've been thinking. So
sports,
it's fun.
So
what?
Yeah. Tell me, why do you hate the Houston Astros so much?
Well, first off, they're the other team in Texas. I'm not allowed to like them. Gotcha. So there's that. Also, in 2017, they stole the World Series. So they cheated.
Stole it?
They cheated. And won.
How do they cheat?
there was a big old sign stealing scandal. So like players will like the catcher and the pitcher will the catcher will throw like a certain number of like fingers or like do signs to kind of like indicate like what pitch you're supposed to do and kind of like this is how they communicate, how they work as a team to kind of like strategize on, all right, we've thrown a couple fastballs, let's throw a curveball, just kind of like to get them off his game, like just kind of keep the batter on their toes is kind of the point.
Yes. I did know that. I knew that bit about baseball.
Great, cool. So and it's totally normal for like if you say you have a runner on second base, right? That runner is behind the pitcher and can see the catcher, right? And he can make eye contact with the pitcher. So if that player on the field can figure out like what the signs are and can somehow communicate like this is a fastball, don't like swing at this, or this is a curveball, don't swing. Like that's part of the game, right? Is like it's like a mind game trying to figure out what's coming, because it's when a ball is flying for 90 feet at like 99 miles an hour, like your reaction time is like you have to know whether you're going to swing before the ball leaves the pitcher's hand. So it's a game of like milliseconds. So if anything you can do to get an advantage on the field is like a big part of the game. But what the Astros were doing is they had a camera in the outfield, zoomed in on the catcher to see what their signs were. And then there were multiple ways that they were communicating to the batter on the field, like what the signs were, so that he knew like they were banging on trash cans to like to like be like swing it like one bang meant like fastball, two meant like curve, something like that. They changed it every game just that maybe you wouldn't get caught. But it was
that doesn't sound like you're supposed to do that.
No, you're not. And a lot of people got fired, a lot of people got fined, but they still they still have the trophy for that World Series in their clubhouse. So they didn't have to vacate the championship, even though they clearly stole it. And like, granted, like you have to be good at baseball to get that far. Like, yeah, like that should go without saying. But like, I don't know. I don't know. They're just that led, and like the thing is, before all that came out, I was pulling for the Astros to win that World Series. Like I wanted them to win. Like I was pulling for them hard to win that World Series. Like Sarah and I were dating when that. No, were we? No, I was still working. So I was still like working with. No, where was I? I don't remember. Anyway, I remember watching that World Series. I mean, like they're a team from Texas. Like I don't usually like the Astros, but I'll cheer for the Astros because like it's really cool. And then to find out like a month or two later that like this whole sign stealing like thing going on, like it was. I felt personally betrayed. Yeah, but like I like stooped so low as to cheer for my rival team, right? To like to win the World Series just because like it's another team from Texas. Like I felt like some sort of loyalty. I didn't like the other team that they were playing against, but like I disliked the Astros more. But I was going to cheer for the Astros just because like the American League, like they're in the same league as us. They're the same state as us. I have a lot of friends who are Astros fans. Like, sure, I'll go for it. Just to pick a team to cheer for. And then to find out they cheated and stole the whole thing, just kind of soured me on them. There was also other ways that they were stealing. Like one of their players is my least favorite player in all of sports, Jose Altuve. He like literally had like a buzzer on his chest that like would buzz to like it was like a little like he had a wire and it would like send him like little tap like haptic things so that he knew to swing. Like, he'd be like tap, all right, swing, got it, go, swing at this one. Yeah, that the extent that these players went.
That's nuts.
It's bad.
It's bad.
And then
that's not.
Yeah, and on top of the
sportsmanship right there.
It's not good sportsmanship, and also they're like, and now they kind of have like a dynasty going right now. Like they've been to like more World Series than not in the last 10 years. So they're it's kind of like like a Tom Brady and the Patriots kind of situation where like you're always there, or like Alabama in college football, like you're always there and it's just annoying. We don't like you because you're always winning. Just like let somebody else have fun for once, kind of thing. But also like they're a really cocky team too, and so I resent them for they just don't seem like people I would want to spend time with.
They don't sound fun.
They don't sound like good. They don't strike me as good people. Like they're just genuinely, yeah. So maybe I'm getting too into sports. Maybe, I don't know, but like I'm like not like compared to some other, like I don't know. But like my childhood favorite team, like the Texas Rangers. I love the Rangers. They're my favorite team. Like they have not won. They've not been this good since 2011. Like since I graduated high school, they've not been this good. Mm-hmm. So it's just really exciting to see them do this good. But the fact that like the Astros are up right now and they're being douches about it, like I don't like it, and I want to see them
suffer.
I want to see them suffer as much as possible. Like have a triple digit loss season next year. Like please, I want nothing more than for them to be the worst team in baseball. Because they were the worst team in baseball, like when I graduated high school. Like they were like the worst team in baseball, and the last like 10 years they've gotten a lot better. Probably for a lot of cheating, but also because they have good players. But still, I don't like them. Anyway, I could talk about this all the time, but it's currently the 9th inning. The Rangers have 2 runners on, no outs. I don't know. They're showing replays of my least favorite player dropping the ball. It's like, no outs, 2 runners on. Yes, Jose Altuve, the most punchable man in baseball. I love it.
I love, like, I know nothing about sports, but I do not follow any sport, but I love seeing people post like sports memes because I can feel the passion behind them and the like the kind of good-natured ribbing and also just like savagery behind it.
It's so much fun.
Like, it's like how we were talking about like with when Cal was on the podcast recently. We were talking with him about like academic feuds and drama between philosophers and stuff. Like I don't know anything about academia or philosophy, but I love hearing about like, you know, when mathematicians are like being sassy at each other or something.
Give me the tea.
You know?
I want it all. Like I want to hear it. Like
spill that tea.
Like it's so much fun. I want to hear it. Yes. So
amazing.
But so winner of this series goes to the World Series. So that's where we're at right now. Yeah. So if the Astros win tonight, the Rangers are eliminated, which is why ordinarily I would not have a sports game on in the background while we're recording podcasts. I would not do that. This is a big deal. But if the Rangers win tonight, then we play again tomorrow night, and the winner of tomorrow night's game goes to the World Series. But if we lose tonight, the Astros go to the World Series, and all hope is lost.
Damn.
Yeah. Gotcha. But
well, basketball is my favorite sport.
Do you like the way the dribble
down the court?
I love you.
Basketball is genuinely my favorite sport, though. I think it's the most fun to watch.
It is very fun to watch. Yeah. And the Mavs.
And also, I just like enjoy playing. Like I don't play sports, but like when I do enjoy basketball. I like throwing the ball in a hoop. I like bouncing. It's fun.
Yeah, the swish, good. Very satisfying.
Swish. Nothing net. Anyway, who do you think would be the best basketball player in Star Wars?
It's the best basketball player in Star Wars.
And baseball.
And baseball. Okay. Well, Anakin's built like a baseball player.
Yeah.
So I think Anakin.
What does being built like a baseball player mean?
Like tall, lanky, broad shoulders.
Gotcha. Yeah.
Yeah. Narrow hips, long reach. You got a really long arm, so you can really whip the ball really fast. Yeah, I think Anakin, and also like all the best baseball players. Like this is just going totally on stereotypes, but just like and vibes. But like all the best baseball players either look like they like were just plucked off of a farm in the middle of nowhere, Kansas, or like are black dudes from Central America. Like that's like all the best baseball players are that. That's just
gotcha.
That's just or like Puerto Ricans and Dominicans. Like there is I don't know. Mm-hmm. Yeah, baseball is I think the most diverse sport. I think
that's cool.
I like it. I could be wrong, but that's just again vibes. Come on,
vibes.
Okay,
give us diverse vibes.
All right, no outs, bases are loaded. This feels good. This is good. All right, wonderful. Sorry, I'm excited.
Do you think that Anakin would have an unfair advantage because he has a robot arm?
Ooh, which arm is it? And is he dominantly?
I think it's his right arm is the robot one.
And is he right-handed?
I don't know.
I don't know. And also, do we keep the... Ooh, Jedi, I think, could only be in an all-Jedi league for baseball.
Yeah.
Yeah.
They've got that force sensitivity.
They can see things before they happen. Yeah.
Yeah.
And so they don't even need to steal signs. They just know what pitch is coming. Maybe
just vibes.
Maybe baseball is a terrible sport for Jedi because it just would, I don't know, like it wouldn't be fun.
Mm-hmm.
It would just be like everyone knows it's coming.
Yeah. What about basketball?
Basketball.
Who's the tallest Jedi? That's
what I was thinking. Who's the tallest Jedi? Is it Ki-Adi-Mundi with like the head thing? The cone head?
I mean, I don't know if his head being taller is helpful.
No, I don't think that counts.
What about like I don't know how tall. I mean, he's probably pretty tall, but like Pong Krell, he's got 4 arms.
Oh gosh.
That could be helpful with the dribbling.
Yeah. He looks like he belongs in the Monstars too. So
he's a Monstar.
He is a Monstar. Yeah, Pong Krell would unfortunately make a great basketball player. Oh man. I feel like Kid Fisto. I don't know why, but I think he would.
No, yeah,
I would cheer. I'd cheer for Kid Fisto in anything he does.
Same. Yeah. Also, he's got pecs.
He does.
He's a strong boy. He can do. I believe in him. He can do whatever he wants.
He can, for sure. Yep. Oh man. Yeah. Well, should we talk about Star Wars?
We should probably talk about Star Wars.
Yeah, we've been here for like an hour and a half.
Yeah. Okay, I don't think we have any news or anything about the Star Wars universe, do we?
I don't think so.
Unfinished business, I don't think we had any. So I guess now let's move on to our main segment, Sam.
Whoa!
Where are these episodes in the timeline?
22 BBY, 21 BBY.
Whoa!
I know, right? Shocker. Shocker, it's 21 BBY. All right. So this week we're talking about the Clone Wars Season 2, Episodes 18 and 19, The Zillo Beast, and The Zillo Beast Strikes Back. Oh man. This is our Godzilla episode.
Yes. Kaiju.
Right. So the moral of the first episode, The Zillo Beast, is choose what is right, not what is easy. Personal defense. All right. Desperate times call for desperate measures. In one of the longest and fiercest battles of the war, Separatist forces are on the verge of claiming the planet of Malastare. If the Republic loses this planet, it will... Oh gosh, why does the ads keep jumping? Okay. Oh, no.
Wikipedia.
It was like up and down. Don't do that. All right. If the Republic loses this planet, it will cost them vital fuel resources and necessary for maintaining their armies. In a final effort to turn the tide of the battle, Supreme Chancellor Palpatine has authorized the use of the Republic's new weapon, the Electroproton Bomb. Now at the Imperial Palace of Doge Urus, the leader of the Dugs, the Jedi count down the minutes until the detonation of their doomsday device.
All right. We meet the Dugs in this.
We do meet the Dugs.
I don't think we know any Dugs other than Sebulba.
He always wins. This is probably, I think, the first time we've met a non-pod racing Dug.
Indeed.
Yeah. I was trying to figure out how many both like movies this arc references and how many tropes this arc has as well for like classic movies and also just kind of like political tropes as well, because like it was definitely like a we need to conquer this planet for oil kind of vibe going on. Like American Imperial, like, oh, you have oil, here we come, let's sign a treaty, like give me your money, give me your oil please. So there's a lot of that going on, but also it was the Godzilla episode, so
yes,
yeah, that's the more important thing, is the Godzilla episode. All right. All right. In hopes of obtaining fuel from Malastare, Mace Windu, Palpatine via hologram, and Anakin Skywalker discussed the potential effects of the Electroproton Bomb, the Republic's latest superweapon, worried that the bomb could affect their troops as well as the droid army. Dr. Siviner Ball, the scientist who constructed the bomb, confirms that it will not harm any Republic forces or Doge Urus's people. Its effects will only work on droids, and all the probabilities have been assumed, while Windu remains wary of the improbable and wishes to find another way. Palpatine insists that the bomb is the last chance to secure a Republic victory. This whole arc is just like Palpatine just kind of like, no, this is the only shot we got. We got to do this thing. We got to push this one thing. We got to. It's just very much like it's like, nope, this is the only way. You got to do it my way. That's it. Which we should, like, no red flags going off that, like, Palpatine's like, nope, this one really obscure, extreme, drastic way, the only way to do it, and also this way that kind of pushes us further into like violence and further into.
There's a lot of these couple episodes. There's a lot of like Palpatine being very obviously evil, like,
yeah, just cartoonishly bad.
Yeah, and then making like evil faces and like glaring and smiling evilly, and it's like
yeah, and he also like his character design in this arc looks more like his like Emperor Palpatine like warped face after fighting Windu than it does like normal Palpatine for the rest of the Clone Wars. Like it's just it looks much more weathered face.
Mm-hmm.
But so we get a weapon of mass destruction from the Republic. So we get our whole Oppenheimer thing going on.
So many WMDs lately in Star Wars.
Like because they had the what was it called? The one that like Lockdud was testing.
Lockdud. It was like the defluorinator,
the defoliator. The defoliator. Yeah.
Yes.
Yeah. So it's just kind of like it's just like the yin to the yang of the defoliator is all this really is. And it's just it just looks like a nuke. Like it's just it's a boxy
it's a
looking
nuke
nuke
followed by an EMP. Yeah.
yeah. All right. Anyway, so home run. Oh my god. Grand slam. Slam. Adolis Garcia.
News right now in the making.
The Rangers are up 9-2.
Ah!
We're going to game 7, baby. Going to game 7. Yeah. And Adolis Garcia, there was back to sports for a minute. So in the previous game, Adolis Garcia was hit by a pitch, which is like a thing, which in professional baseball, like at this level, like if you're hit by a pitch, either like the pitcher is like exhausted and like just can't control his pitches anymore, and needs to be pulled, or it's intentional. Like there's no middle ground. Like this doesn't happen on accident. And he was hit by a pitch in the at bat after he had just hit a home run, and was like not like more excited than normal that you would be for hitting a really clutch like home run during a postseason game. Like it was just a very like during a rivalry postseason game. Like it's a very normal level of celebrating for that sort of thing. And the Astros, being douchebags, did not take kindly to it, and they hit him in the ribs with this ball. Yeah, and the bench
I hate the Astros now.
Good, and the bench is good. Did we just get another home run? Oh, snagged it. Okay, well, you're out of a home run. It was almost a home run. If he didn't catch it, it would have gone over the fence. Anyway, so the bench is cleared, and their pitcher got suspended for 2 games. But it's just really satisfying to see in a must-win game Adolis Garcia hitting a grand slam. It's so good.
Excellent.
How can you not love baseball? I love it. Okay. Anyway, back to Star Wars. Okay. Windu and Anakin observe the outnumbered Republic and Malastare forces as they march toward the advancing Separatist forces. At the Separatist side, the tactical droid gives the order to attack. Captain Rex, clone troopers, and Doug soldiers and cavaliers on insectomorphs, that's cool, struggle to hold their ground, even as hyena bombers soar overhead. Eventually, the Republic orders the electroproton bomb to be dropped on the massive Separatist force. The pilot drops the bomb, annihilating the Separatist forces with a massive blast. The blast is followed by an EMP, which cuts off power to Palpatine's transmission, the clone tanks, and short-circuits Anakin's prosthetic arm, but leaves the clone force and Doug soldiers unharmed. As the troops celebrate the victory, the ground starts breaking apart and sinking beneath their feet. The clones and the Dougs flee, with Rex barely making it off the ledge. However, some clones fall into the sinkhole, and Anakin dispatches rescue teams to locate the trapped soldiers. After losing contact with the rescuers, Mace Windu and Commander Pons decide to investigate and look for the missing troops, while Anakin ratifies the treaty to authorize the fuel purchase from Malastare. Doug leader Doge Naka-Urus exclaims his happiness for their alliance while they wait for the rest of the council to arrive to ratify the treaty. Meanwhile, Windu finds hand marks and a clone helmet in the sinkhole when the clones find the rescue team and some troops that fell in the hole. One of the traumatized survivors speaks of something down in the chasm with them. Windu, Pons, and the troopers, Hawkeye and Trapper, begin searching elsewhere. Windu asks Anakin to come down and help, which Anakin preps his fighter and excuses himself. As they advance upon a ledge, Windu and the troopers feel the ground shaking as the massive head of a huge reptilian creature turns and roars at them. The clones fire at the beast with no effect. It shakes them off and chases them until Anakin distracts it by flying in circles, allowing Windu to escape. Anakin is surprised and caught off guard when the beast hits his fighter and he crashes, ejecting just in time. He strikes the monster with his lightsaber, only to find that its armor-like scales are virtually impervious even to his lightsaber. He leaps onto the beast's head and notices gaps in the armor as well, which a well-placed shot could penetrate it before jumping on R2-D2 and rocketing out of it. This was funny. I love just watching R2-D2 just kind of like rocket out of there, and Anakin just jump into, he just koala bears R2-D2. And just, like,
it was
just
super
kind of,
funny.
Just fly out.
It was fun.
Yeah, I love it. I love it. All right, so after making his surprise exit, Urus arrives and explains that the creature is a Zillo beast. They were the dominant life forms on Malastare before his people arrived and preyed upon the early Dugs. Urus states that when his people started harvesting fuel, the Zillo beast began to die out. It was believed that they became extinct until now. The Dugs bombed the Zillo beast fruitlessly, while Mace and Anakin find Urus and the Council observing the ancient script showing the weaknesses of the Zillo beast. Windu and Skywalker argue that they will exterminate an innocent life form if they continue, but Urus threatens to cancel the treaty if they try to protect it. A talk with Palpatine shows that he supports the extermination of the Zillo beast, but Dr. Sylvaner Ball and Anakin additionally support the idea to preserve it for replicating its seemingly impenetrable armor for military use and propose an idea to stun it in the gaps of its armor using stun tanks. When it is fully stunned and weakened, it would appear dead, but still be alive in stasis. The Dugs would assume it is dead and sign the treaty, while the Republic could move it to a secure location before it reawakens, where they can study the creature and possibly copy the armor. The stun tanks...
Okay, I need to talk about...
Yes.
Okay, the fact that, like... It baffles me that the Jedi to be like, we should not kill this beast, is Mace Windu, the most, like, I'm cool with killing people casually Jedi.
Yeah.
Like, he's the most, like, militaristic, like, I murder for fun kind of Jedi. And the fact that he's like, no, we should protect this giant monster.
Yeah.
It feels very silly to me.
The fact that it's Mace Windu and Darth Vader 18 months before he becomes Darth Vader.
Yeah, it's just, that's funny to me, the fact that, like, yeah, of all people, it's like, yeah, Mace Windu is being like,
yeah,
no, we need to preserve life. And it's like, you, like,
yeah, the two most violent non-Pong Krell Jedi.
Yeah, man. Anyway, yeah, that was silly, but
it is silly.
Anyway.
It's very silly. Okay. The stun tanks, which I just like that they call them stun tanks. They're just normal tanks with, like, little ray beams. Anyway, the stun tanks roll out of the pit, where Urus is glad to see the events move in his favor. But his method is already working. He orders the Dugs empty the fuel lines into the pit. Urus explains that the fuel is lethal to the Zillo beast and should kill it, but Windu warns such an action will only enrage the beast further. Windu urges Urus to stop and then threatens to kill him unless he stops. Yet the Dug continues to oppose Windu, stating that he too is an innocent life form, which, call him BS on that. You're like actively attacking this thing. Like, you're not an innocent, like when he said, like, I'm an innocent life form, you're like, no, you're the aggressor. What do you?
I'm innocent.
How do you think this is? How do you think this works? Rangers won. It's official. The Rangers won 9-2. Okay, moving on. I can turn off the TV now. Great, cool. Yeah. So where was I? Stating that he too is an innocent life form. However, Windu's warning proves correct when the provoked Zillo beast climbs out of the hole and goes on a rampage, destroying everything in its path. It climbs up and the stun tanks open fire, seemingly to no avail. It swipes and destroys several tanks, causing Anakin to order backing up to avoid it. After a rampage, concentrated fire from the tanks start to weaken the Zillo beast, and it eventually collapses, incapacitated. Sent into a deep coma by the cannons, the beast appears to be dead. Urus signs the treaty, and Malastare joins the Republic. Palpatine orders the Zillo beast to be shipped to Coruscant for a study, a matter which Windu expresses concern. The episode ends with 4 LAATs picking up the Zillo beast to bring to Coruscant for study. If there was ever like this is a bad idea in Star Wars, it's this one. Like,
it's so
let's just like load up a tranquilized Godzilla and load it and bring it to the most populated planet in the galaxy.
Yeah, it's really interesting. Like this, I mean, these episodes are clearly a tribute to Godzilla, but they're also like King Kong too.
Oh yeah,
like, I mean that's what they do in King Kong too. Is they find Kong, they like neutralize him, and they bring him to New York City. It's like, it's also
like Jurassic Park 2 is this, right? Like,
I have not seen Jurassic Park 2, but I'll take your word for it.
They I think I think the premise of Jurassic Park 2 is like they've escaped the island. I haven't watched it in forever, but there is a Jurassic Park movie that this is the premise, that they've escaped Jurassic Park. They made it back to like mainland, and then some like greedy capitalist scientist like, we can profit off of this still. Like, it's like, I think there's still dinosaurs there. Let's go get them and bring them and put them in like in a normal zoo. And that's
sounds
like
a great idea.
Yeah, so it's like that's where my mind went. Is like, oh, it's like that one Jurassic Park movie where they bring the dinosaurs to America.
Yeah, Jurassic Park 2 Lost in New York.
It really is. Except I think it was like Miami.
Gotcha.
Or no, it was San Francisco. What was it? No. Anyway, I'll look it up later.
Cool. This is fun. This is a fun episode. I feel like the more fun episode is the next one.
Yes.
Personally. But like, I like the whole like we've awoken this giant creature, and people like there's a really cool shot of like way up above of the pit. Like they're like bombing the pit, and it's dark down there and it's smoky, and then like when the bombs like erupt, you can like it like flashes and you can see the silhouette of the beast. It's like
so cool. There's so many cool cinematic like things with the Zillo beast.
Mm-hmm.
It's such like it's like also kind of like a unique kind of design for the monster.
It's kind of lizardy, but it's also like four-legged, and like, I mean, like in a way that's almost bipedal, and like, but it's got really long arms and a long neck and like big like kind of flat long fingers.
They're kind of like tapeworm finger kind of things, just like flat, long. And also it had like a third arm coming out of its back as well as like a tail. Like,
it's super interesting. It's like I think it's a good combination of like, it feels like a kaiju, you know, but it also feels like Star Wars.
It's super Star Wars.
And, it's great.
Like if you told me that this was like the thing that like comes out of the asteroid in like episode 4 or 5 or whatever, like when the Millennium Falcon is like flying the asteroid, like I would believe
just his neck.
Just like just the neck. That's kind of what it looks like. So very Star Wars.
Yes. Also, so like just the similarities between this and the original Godzilla. Like, well, first of all, it's called the Zillo beast, which is you know, pretty as close to Godzilla as you can get without calling it Godzilla, basically. But also it's like the I think the original Godzilla, like the idea was that he was awoken by the use of nuclear weapons. Basically. Yeah, and so that's very similar here as well. It's like, you know, they used a big old bomb and that, you know, awoke this beast. That's cool.
It is cool.
I love that, like, especially recently we've been getting a lot of episodes that I feel like are very like, you know, the Clone War, like using the Clone Wars to kind of stretch Star Wars out into a lot of different genres that it doesn't necessarily usually cover. So like in this one we're getting, you know, kaiju monster movie, which is super cool. And just it's cool to see. We'll see that.
It is cool. I was talking with Sarah about this, and I was just kind of describing her the episode, and when I called it the Zillo Beast, she's like, "Oh, like it's like the housing market, the Zillo Beast."
That's amazing.
And I was thinking, because like I made like the Zillo connection like in my head. I was like trying to think of a good joke. Like I was racking my brain for like, because I watched these episodes last night, so I've been racking my brain all day trying to like tell this. Like, all right, I'm gonna go record this episode with Jack about this Zillo Beast. I'm like, oh, it's like housing market. I'm like, so
you just immediately
so quick. Gosh,
she's the writer in the family.
She is, yeah. She's the creative one. I'm just the one who like knows too much about too many things, and I just like can talk about them ad nauseum, which is why I have a podcast. And here we are.
Well, excellent.
All right.
Oh, that is a good joke. It's a quality joke.
It's a quality joke. Well done.
I appreciate that.
All right. Episode 19. The Zillo Beast Strikes Back.
Strikes back. Which obviously, like, clearly, like, the title's a reference to Empire Strikes Back. Which is great.
What? No. All right, the moral of this...
Hey, that's what I'm here for, is to point out the obvious trivia. That's what I'm here for, Sam.
Love you for it, Jack. All right, the moral of the Zillo Beast Strikes Back is the most dangerous beast is the beast within. But within what?
Your butt.
Oh, okay. A calculated risk. Following a close... I didn't do... Hold on. Okay. An punishable offense. A calculated risk. Following a costly victory on the planet of Malastare, Chancellor Palpatine orders Jedi Knights Mace Windu and Anakin Skywalker to transport a fearsome Zillo Beast captured during the battle back to Coruscant. After seeing not even a lightsaber can harm the beast, Chancellor Palpatine hopes to unlock the secret of its invulnerability to create new armor for the Republic's clone troopers. Tensions run high as the most dangerous life form in the galaxy touches down on the Republic's most populous planet. Again, great idea. Great idea.
So yeah, it is. Yeah. First of all, it is astonishing to me how quickly Palpatine goes from, well, we don't care about this creature, let's just kill it, to actually let's keep it alive and also bring it to the most populous city in the Republic, because that's a good idea, and also experiment on it while it's here.
Yeah. Where can we anger,
cause the most damage?
Yeah. If you're looking for risk mitigation, this is not it.
Yeah.
So
yeah.
All right. Oh, cool. Are you looking at the Wikipedia page right now? Because there's that poster.
Yeah, there's a promo poster for this episode that looks exactly like a classic Godzilla poster.
It does. It's really cool.
Yeah, like it looks like it would be. It looks like one of the classic Gojira Japanese poster, except instead of Japanese, it's all Arbesh.
It's super cool.
Which is great.
It's super cool.
Yeah.
The Zillo Beast is transported to Coruscant for study. Mace Windu is skeptical and fears that the creature is too dangerous to have been brought to Coruscant on this planet. It's too dangerous to be left alive. Though Supreme Chancellor Palpatine...
It's too dangerous.
The Supreme Chancellor Palpatine assures him that determining the secret to its invulnerability will bring a closer end to the war. Windu brings his concerns to Obi-Wan Kenobi, who believes that, regarding what the Zillo Beast is capable of, bringing the creature to Coruscant is not worth the possible military benefits. When Windu explains that the Chancellor failed to heed his warnings about the danger, Obi-Wan suggests letting someone else try.
Let's get the teacher's pet in here.
Yeah. Yeah, which that works out great. Anyway, meanwhile, the study of the Zillo Beast is undertaken, personal study by Dr. Sivana Bol.
Sionver?
Sionver Bol. I don't know.
Something like that. Anyway.
Yeah. Who has it sedated and restrained, as she explains to Palpatine, attempting to remove the creature's scales to examine them in order to synthesize a stronger armor would be extremely painful to it. Palpatine suggests that killing it would be the best option. Ball protests, stating that the Zillo Beast isn't only the last of its kind, it may also be sentient. I love this kind of idea. This is so great. Palpatine dismisses the possibility, stating that the giant beast is simply an animal. In response, the beast growls at his comment and stares angrily at the Chancellor. I love this. The fact
this whole episode, the best part of this episode is the fact that this beast clearly has it out for Palpatine.
Yeah. Zillo Beast for MVP. Easy.
Yes,
easy.
Honestly, yes. Easy peasy.
Easy peasy. All right, so let's see. Palpatine dismissed the ability, stating that the giant beast is simply an animal. The beast growls at his comment and stares angrily at the Chancellor. Palpatine orders the use of Malastarian fuel to be used as a poison to quickly kill the beast, and threatens to replace Bol if she doesn't have the stomach to do it. At the Senate, Anakin sees Obi-Wan talking to Padme Amidala. He quickly guesses that she and Obi-Wan want him to talk to the Chancellor to discuss the fate of the Zillo Beast. Padme points out that the beast was brought to Coruscant against its will and has no literal voice to defend itself, so she thinks that she and her husband need to be that voice. Reluctantly, Anakin agrees. When both he and Padme meet with the Chancellor, the latter and Mas Amedda try justifying that killing the beast is for the greater good, to which Padme challenges that, thinking the last of his species in secret without debate can be good for no one. Anakin stays neutral and acknowledges both points of view, while thinking that a reasonable solution will present itself. Palpatine...
Anakin's like, I don't know, my wife says one thing, but also my uncle that likes me says this other thing.
Yeah, my weird groomer uncle, who is also the king of the universe, says another thing. Yeah. All right. Great. So Anakin says that he admits that their old friend and mentor has a good point, since the people of the Republic are dying and they have to find a way to win the war. Back in Bull's lab, she attempts to administer a small dosage of malastarian fuel as a poison gas to euthanize the Zillo beast. Unfortunately, when a small amount is applied, the creature becomes agitated and aggressive, breaks free of its bonds, smashes its way out of the laboratory, and starts rampaging across Coruscant unhindered by all efforts to stop it. When it sees the Senate, it makes its way directly toward it, planning on getting revenge on Palpatine.
I love it.
It just, like, so good. It somehow says, like, oh, he's there. Time to just, like, stomp my way over there. It's great. The Chancellor, Padme, Anakin, and R2-D2 evacuate to the former's escape shuttle, only to be caught by the beast just as they take off. Anakin comes up with a dangerous plan, surprise, to free them by slicing off the front part of the shuttle. While Yoda and Aayla Secura, hey, Aayla Secura's back, that's fun.
What's up?
While they distract the beast. But when the front half splits off, Anakin, Padme, R2-D2, and C-3PO fall out, while the Chancellor and a Senate commando fall a level below, escaping certain death thanks to Obi-Wan Kenobi and Mace Windu, who force grip the front half of the Chancellor's ships, interrupting its course. R2-D2 manages to grapple himself to the side of a building, preventing C-3PO from continuing his fall, while Anakin helps Padme up from the slipping off the edge. The Zillo Beast then attempts to crush Palpatine with its hand, only for R2 to quickly fly in and save the Chancellor. Boo. While the commando is crushed, saving him. Aww. Gunships arrive and open fire. At Palpatine's orders, they fire flares to get the Zillo Beast's attention. Then when it roars at them, the gunships fire poison gas bombs straight into the monster's mouth. As the gunships continue to bomb the beast, the gas cloud begins to spread, though Anakin, Yoda, and Aayla use the Force to protect themselves, Palpatine, and Amidala from the gas. As the Jedi look on in regret, the Zillo Beast, confused, in pain, and dying, finally succumbs to the poison gas and falls from the roof of the Senate to its death below. The next morning, the body of the Zillo Beast is carted away. Anakin laments that it was sacrificed for their mistakes. Palpatine promises to everyone that he'll make sure its sacrifice was not in vain. As he and the Jedi part ways, Palpatine gives new orders to Dr. Bull. Clone the Zillo Beast.
What?
Yeah.
All right. So it was a fun episode.
Very fun.
Yeah, it's super cool. Just to, like, see, I mean, a number of things. One is how we get the implication that the Zillo Beast actually might be sentient and, like, know what's going on. And the fact that it very clearly has it out for Palpatine. Like, as soon as Palpatine's like, no, we should just kill her, right? It, like, glares at him and then spends the rest of the episode trying to chase after him and kill him specifically.
Yeah.
Like, literally every time, like, it's always chasing specifically Palpatine and looking specifically at Palpatine, which is great. And also it makes me think, like, what man, how different would the Star Wars saga be if the Zillo Beast just ate Palpatine and, like, that was the end of it? Like, this is, like, honestly, this is one case where, like, you know, Palpatine's powerful, but I think if the Zillo Beast, like, tried to eat him, I think there's a reasonable chance that he would not be able to make it out of that. Like, yeah. You know, it's that, like,
or if he does,
this is a moment of like we don't get, like, especially during the Clone Wars, we don't get to see a lot of moments where, like, Palpatine's hubris gets the best of him, where, like, he's arrogant about something and it makes a mistake and, like, leads to him, like, getting in trouble, basically. And this is one of the few times when we do get to see that, you know, which is cool.
Yeah, because Palpatine's so good at just, like, playing, like, he, like, plays it safe so much, like, just controlling things, like, from, like, 3 like levels removed from whatever he's doing, just so he's he can't be touched, right? Like, the whole Jedi Order couldn't figure out that, like they were, like, had hints that maybe some sort of Sith was somewhere near the Senate. But, like, they never even, they could never, like, realize, like, oh, it's Palpatine. But yeah. So
exactly.
Yeah, it's cool. Yeah, I think that, like, I don't know, if Palpatine survived the Zillo Beast attack, like, if the Zillo Beast, like, actually tried to attack him, he would be outed as a Sith Lord immediately. Like,
yeah, because there's no way he could escape without using, like, Sith Force powers. Like,
right. Yeah.
Which, that actually made me think, like, does he have his lightsaber with him at all times? Like, secretly? Or is it just in his office or something?
I think in episode 3 it comes out of like his desk, right?
Okay, I don't remember.
Or maybe it does come out of his sleeve. I don't know. Maybe he just knew that something was happening. He just had it.
He's like, something's up. He's like, yeah, no, the war's coming to an end. I'm gonna have this on me the next few days, just for whenever, whenever shit goes down.
Yeah, because he knows. I think like as soon as like right before, he knows like in the hours before Order 66, he's gonna have to do something. Like he's gonna like yeah. So,
but yeah. So this episode also just like so many cool visual moments, like seeing the Zillo beast like break free of its bonds and then like, you know, smash out of that building and then start walking towards like through Coruscant and towards the Senate. Like, and also just the sequence where like you see him walking through the streets of Coruscant and like he smashes through that giant monitor that's playing a message from Palpatine
that was
on it.
good. That was a good image.
It was great. It was poetic.
Yeah.
Just super cool to see it kind of like crawling around. Like, it just to see Star Wars kaiju. It's just cool.
It's great. It's classic. It's hard to beat.
Yeah. Then
because like kaiju movies are just, they're so like iconic and just quintessential like early Hollywood, and just like it's hard. Like I've never seen a kaiju movie that like wasn't actively trying to be bad that was bad. Like it's either good or like actively trying to be terrible. Like there's no in between. Like they're always fun.
Yes, you can't go wrong with a kaiju. I've been thinking about Godzilla lately, like wanting to watch some Godzilla stuff, because the only Godzilla movies I've seen the Japanese original Gojira 1954, and I've seen the like 2014 I think one that was directed by Gareth Edwards, who also directed Rogue One. Yes. And I remember loving that movie. I need to go back and watch it because it's been forever.
Bryan Cranston one?
Yes, that's the no. Yes. Yeah. Yes, that's the one where Bryan Cranston is in and he dies like 20 minutes in or whatever.
Yeah. He was in it just to be on the movie poster so that people go see it. As if Godzilla wasn't enough.
I love the movie. Yeah. But again, I need to rewatch it. But like, what I remember loving about the movie in particular is my only exposure to Godzilla before this was the original 1954 one. Really? And in the original 1954 Godzilla movie, Godzilla he's the bad guy. He's he's a giant monster, and the goal is to fight the monster and win. Yeah. Whereas in a lot of the other Godzilla movies that came after that, Godzilla kind of becomes the hero who's like protecting humanity from other kaiju. Yeah. You know, I didn't know that though. So when I watched Godzilla 2014 and like, you know, they reveal all these other kaiju, and then Godzilla comes out and like he starts fighting the other kaiju. I'm like, oh, is Godzilla the good guy in this? That's the coolest thing I've ever seen. I was like, that's incredible.
I love that.
It's very like Terminator 2. Like, oh, Arnold Schwarzenegger's the good Terminator in this one. He's on our side. That's so cool. Like the monster fights for us now. Yeah. Like, oh, that's so cool.
Have you really not? You didn't see Godzilla 2000?
No, I know enough about it, but no, I've never seen it. I just know that like most people don't like it. Oh, it's not very good.
It was the first Godzilla movie I saw, but I saw it like when it was like it had just come out on VHS. When I saw it, or I don't know, if it was VHS or DVD, but I had just seen, because I remember I have a very specific memory of this movie, because I think Dad wanted to watch it, Mom didn't want to watch it. It was like around like I was like second grade or something, and we were at Papa and Auntie's house, our grandparents' house, and I got sick, and I guess Mom and Dad drove separate or something, or Mom and you were gonna get a ride home from like Patty and Rick or something, and we went home. I wasn't feeling good, and Dad had rented it from Blockbuster, I think, and wanted to watch it. He was like, "Sam, do you want to watch Godzilla with me?" I'm like, "Yes, I do. I absolutely do." And so as like a second grader watching like Godzilla 2000, like it was like so much fun. I don't remember anything about the plot. I just remember the feeling I had watching Godzilla on screen, and it was so good. So that's all I remember from that movie, is just Godzilla being incredible.
Yeah. You know what I do remember is the only thing I do remember about is, do you remember we had like a plastic plate that was Godzilla? That was Godzilla 2000.
I do. It was my favorite plate for a while.
I remember.
I think it was like a Happy Meal toy or something, or like Wendy's, or
probably, yeah.
Or like a box, like box top from like Frosty Mini Wheats or something.
Oh yeah, Yeah, sure. Fun fact: did you know that Godzilla 2000 or Godzilla? I think it was 99 technically. I don't know, whatever, or 90. No, it's 98. It's 1998, I think.
Okay,
but like. Anyway, that Godzilla,
yeah.
There's a Jamiroquai song in it. Like, Jamiroquai wrote a song for that movie.
Wait.
Called Deeper Underground.
What other songs have they done? Because I know that band name.
Yeah, Jamiroquai, their most well-known song is probably Virtual Insanity. They also did the song that Napoleon Dynamite dances to.
Yes,
at the end of Napoleon Dynamite.
That's how yeah. Okay, great, cool.
Yes, yeah. Jamiroquai's one of my favorite bands. They're great.
Great. Yeah, it's one of those bands, I know the name of the band, oh yeah, but like I could never name one of their songs, but like I just know that they're a band and that they're beloved. That's all I got.
Yeah. My to briefly just conclude my Godzilla tangent. One is that I've been wanting. I really wanted to see Godzilla King of the Monsters, which was like the second of the current like Godzilla American Godzilla series. It didn't get great reviews, so I've never actually watched. I probably will get around to it eventually, but like that movie has one of the best trailers of any movie I've ever seen. Like it's this gorgeous, amazingly edited, and like just has the most beautiful shots from the movie in it, and it's set to this like epic orchestral version of Claire de Lune, and it gives me goosebumps just watching that trailer.
I'm gonna go watch it after we log off here in a minute.
Yeah. And the other thing is, very recently I bought on Blu-ray Shin Godzilla. So did you know about Shin Godzilla?
Mm-hmm.
So Shin Godzilla came out.
I don't remember what it is.
Sure, yeah. It came out a few years ago. I want to say like maybe 2016. And it's one of the Japanese Godzilla movies. It's one of the more recent ones, and it is. Basically, it's kind of like a reboot of Godzilla, like a retelling of the Godzilla story, but it's like from the perspective of, as I understand it, at least, it's a lot of it is like from the perspective of the kind of the bureaucracy of like how would like the government actually respond to like a kaiju attack kind of thing.
You did tell me about that. It sounds super fascinating,
and it's supposed to be really good, and also the design of Godzilla is supposed to be like really like it's like the kind of the scariest, most terrifying like version of Godzilla.
Good. Good.
Which sounds awesome.
Yes.
It's also, I think, directed by I don't remember his name, but he's the guy who made Neon Genesis Evangelion. So that's a fun fact there. Yeah. So just a bunch of I want to get into Godzilla. I want to watch more kaiju movies and watch some Godzilla.
I'll watch it with
so this maybe this will get me into the swing of it.
Yeah.
But yeah.
Sweet. This is great. Good episode.
Yeah, let's see. I wanted to mention also. There's like I talked about. No, it's just you're good. I was talking about King Kong a little bit before, and I think that the King Kongness definitely stands out in this episode in particular. Like with the whole like him climbing up the side of the building, and then he has like he grabs Palpatine's ship, and so he's got it in his hand, and like he's kind of swinging it around. You know,
it's
a lot
very much
like King
the
Kong
biplane on the Empire State Building, kind of like.
Yeah, and then you've got like all those like those ships like flying around shooting it. That's very biplanes circling King Kong, and there's a lot of great like very clear like homages to
I love it
to classic kaiju, to Godzilla and to King Kong, which is cool.
Star Wars homages to other things in pop culture never gets old.
That's like 90% of what Star Wars is, to be fair.
It's true.
It's like
which is when it does that. It's Star Wars is its best.
Yes, it's great. And then the way that this episode ends, it's like the reveal is like Palpatine wants the Doctor to like try and clone the Zillo Beast. We never ended up getting any like. There's no more Zillo Beast stuff in the rest of the Clone Wars, and there never was any in Rebels. I read that it was like, I think Dave Filoni was asked about it, like, is the Zillo Beast going to show up again in Rebels? And he's like, we don't like have the budget basically to do like a big kaiju type thing in Rebels. But then, just like fairly, like within the last couple of years, I remember exactly when, but there was an episode of The Bad Batch where the Zillo Beast comes back.
It was like one of the big ones in season 1, wasn't it?
Season 1, I don't remember which season it was. I just know it was in The Bad Batch. But yeah, there's an episode where we get to like find out like the continuation of this story, because I think we do like meet like a cloned Zillo Beast basically. Yeah. And anyway, but yeah, so like it's cool that like this is a story that, you know, we're not going to like come back to the Zillo Beast for another few years or however long it's going to take for us to get to the Bad Batch. But like, realistically, I like the fact that it does eventually get like we returned to it. That's cool because the Zillo Beast is such a cool idea, and so.
Oh man, so one thing. So as we're going through kind of like our end of podcast like lists of things, there was a Wilhelm scream.
Yes, in the first episode. I noticed that
we had a Wilhelm scream. I think it was a clone falling down the pit.
Yeah, so it was during the that sequence. So I guess for stats, we had no lost limbs, no main character kills, but we did get a Wilhelm scream. So that's cool.
We love it.
We don't get Wilhelm screams super often when it's like just like the Clone Wars, but when we do, it's always a treat.
It is.
Sam, do you have a favorite part of this arc?
When the Zillo Beast eye in like Palpatine's office, like just like the eye, just like the whole window. Was just the Zillo Beast's
that's exactly
eye.
what I was gonna say.
It's so great.
It like looks in on him, and it's like like Palpatine looks up and has this like you can see in his face this realization of like, oh, he's coming after me.
Yes,
that's such a great moment. It's so cool. That was also my favorite. That was exactly what I was gonna say too. It's just
I'm glad.
It's a great MVP. I think we already decided it's the Zillo Beast, right?
Yes, it's incredible.
Yes. I love that. Yeah, amazing. I want to hug. I want a Zillo Beast plushie that I can hug. Oh, that'd be great. More Star Wars is better Star Wars. How does this episode make the movies and the rest of Star Wars better, Sam?
We get a peek at Palpatine's hubris. I like that you pointed that out.
Yes.
That was kind of cool. I'm just kind of seeing like, this is kind of what happens when Palpatine goes too far before he's ready to go that far.
Yeah, when he gets greedy and he gets like...
It's one of his rare slip-ups in all of Star Wars, is that.
Yes. Agreed. Also, I just like that there's a kaiju in the Star Wars universe now.
Love that.
It's great.
Love that.
Yeah. All right. I think that's probably it for this episode. Do we have a mailbag or anything?
Nope, not this week.
Well, all right. This has been a fun episode. We had a lot of. It was definitely a shorter kind of discussion segment of like the actual arc.
Yeah.
This time around, but it was just because it was like the first episode didn't have a whole lot going on in it, and then it's pretty straightforward.
Yeah,
it was a lot of fun.
More action than plot. Yeah. Like which. Yeah, I love. Yeah, it's great.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, and also it works out because we, mostly me, spent a lot of time talking in the first what we've been doing segment because I had a lot of video games to talk about.
I ranted about baseball for about 10 minutes there, so that's something.
True. Yeah, indeed.
And the Rangers are one game away from the World Series, so we love that.
Exciting! Congratulations to the Rangers.
Yes. Yep. So we'll see tomorrow night you all. By the time this releases, baseball season will be 100% over. But
yeah, we record these in the past. If you weren't aware.
What? Yeah. So
that's how recording works. That's some behind the scenes. That's some movie magic for you. Yeah. Well, y'all, if you would like to join in the discussion, just as a reminder, you can leave a voicemail at 512-850-6653, and we might feature your comments, questions, or corrections on the podcast.
Mostly comments, questions. And again, if you correct us, we'll tell you that you're
wrong. Yeah, because that's our hubris.
It's also our podcast, and we're not allowed to be wrong.
True.
Yeah, you're wrong.
Yeah. If the only reason we have a podcast is to be able to be right all the time and not have anybody tell us otherwise. Yeah. So
it's the only place I can do this, so it's great.
Yeah. All right. Thank you for listening, everyone. Join us next time when we'll be talking about the Clone Wars Season 2, Episodes 4 through 8, the Return to Geonosis arc. This is going to be 5 episodes, Sam.
Yeah.
I don't think we've done a 5-episode arc yet.
Longest one's been 3.
Yeah. So yeah, I'm gonna definitely have to
I'm probably gonna
start watching this like a couple days before.
I'm probably gonna watch
because usually I watch them the day of.
I'll probably watch like my lunch break this week will just be an episode a week or an episode a day.
Yeah. That's probably smart.
Yeah.
Yeah. So we're getting a big old dang old arc coming up soon. It's gonna be fun, and as always, it's fun getting to hang out with you, Sam. It's been a couple weeks, and I'm glad we got to sit down and do this again. And Yeah, you're swell.
Aw, me too.
You're a swell guy.
Good night, dude.
Thank you again to Prime Numbers for sponsoring this episode, and may the force be with
Amazon
you all.
Prime Numbers, just Prime Numbers.
No, Jeff Bezos is not. We're not taking Jeff Bezos' money.
No.
His credits will not do fine.
No, will not.
All right. Thank you for listening, everybody, and may the force be with you all.
Bye.
Goodbye.
All right, cut the chatter. Roger, Roger.